All right. Now, let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and do this because I'm going to go ahead and let me go ahead and there we go. Okay. Okay. Now what we want to do is draw a line right here. Okay? And we're going to draw one up over here, and we're gonna make the hair come down over his eye right here. See that? And then we're going to come up here like this, and then we're going to come down here like this. Okay? And then we're going to kind of still bring it over the eyes over here. All right? Now, in cutting that, we simply take our knife and cut down here like this. And if we want to put ears on him, we could. But we're not going to do that today. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to bring that down. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to cut down. And then we're going to cut up like this. And then we're going to cut up to the nose right here. Okay? And you take the tip of your knife and you just follow that. And then you take the tip of it and you follow that. And plop that out of there. And you do it again. Come in here very lightly. You make those cuts. There we go. And it looks like that the hair is over the eye. And we're going to have the same thing over here. All right, and you make a cut in there, and let's kind of move that up there like that. Plus it makes him look a lot more dingy and filthy, as we say. Now if we want to, we can put an eye on this point, but we don't have to. Okay. And I'm going to bring this down a little bit. See how that was done? And the hair goes, and we want to come back here. I want to bring that down, okay? Now, a lot of people carve hobos that are really, you know, really nice looking, clean looking. It's one of the reasons why I love to make things, my carvings more grungy looking and rough looking, because all the pictures I ever saw of hobos were that way. So I like to carve the hobos in a grungy, dirty looking atmosphere. I did a hobo camp one time, a larger carving that I liked because it was dirty and dingy and like what most pictures of hobos. And there's nothing wrong if you want to carve a hobo that looks nice. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna come from the bottom of the arm, and I'm just gonna come up like that, just like I'm gonna do here. Okay, that's the back of the arm, and I'm gonna come around like this and come from the inside. There we go. And take that out in there. See that? And over here, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to come make that sweep. And we got it like that. Okay? This is my way of way of carving, folks. This is not necessarily anybody else's way of carving. That's why I've always considered myself, I've never considered myself a good carver. I've always considered myself a pretty good whittler. Okay? So, alright, now what are we going to do here? Let's bring that nose down a little bit. And bring this hair kind of at an angle, and it would not be combed hair, so we're not going to make it that. We don't want to do that. So let's just bring this area down a little bit. Okay. And sort of bring that down. And we can even bring the nose down just a little bit. So what we want to do is go ahead and come down here with our age lines, and you want to cut that, and I want to make a deep cut, so I just do this. I turn around and I just flip it like that. There we go. I may even make it a little bit deeper. And I make a deep cut. And I come from the inside. And I remove that wood. And then I sort of work this down in here. Okay. And I sort of just bring this down here. A little bit deeper cut in there. A little bit deeper in there. And why I cut back on the nose a little bit is because the deeper I cut, it gets this nose even larger. And I just bring it back. Okay. Okay. All right. Now I make that cut. Now, I'll bring this down just a little bit. And I want to bring the mouth across here, so I have to bring this down, this area down a little bit. So I just sort of come up, come down with the mouth, because we're going to go ahead and put a little sort of a sweeping motion with that mouth, and then I make a cut just like this. I make a cut like that. Because I usually put a little cigar. So I want to come up underneath here because I want to bring that chin. I want that chin to look further up. So I come up underneath there and I just, there we go. See, it brings that chin out. Just like in these areas in here. It brings that chin, there we go, see that? It brings that chin up like that, in other words. So, okay. This is pretty much the way the face is going to look. Okay. I can even cut this just a little bit more right in here. He's got a grubby look anyway, in other words. I gotta tell you, when I was looking, I was going through studying hobos. They are very, very, well, because they didn't bathe that much. Pretty nasty people. Of course, they were hobos. They were men looking for work. So, there we go. All right. I'm gonna just cut on these arms a little bit because I want to thin them up. They're too big for the figure. And I want to come in here. I'm going to kind of make that. And I want to come in here and I want to make a little cut for the hand, and then I'm going to come from the inside and cut it, okay? There we go. Okay. Now I'll clean that up in there a little bit. La da 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 da. Okay. And I want to make a cut in there. These don't look. I come over here and I want to cut a little arm wrinkles in there. And I want to cut a little arm wrinkles in here. Okay? I want to cut one right in here too. I think it's already just about cut, but we're going to cut one even deeper. There we go. All right. Now the next thing we want to do, I'll bring that in just a little, is we want to go ahead and, now if we want to just take care of the shoes, well, we'll do that in a minute, okay? We want to go ahead and put some clothes on him. Now, most of the time they wore old beat up coats and things like that. So let's go ahead and just put a coat on him, and you just take here and you come from the top up here and you just bring the coat down here, okay? And from over here you want to bring the coat down, but very close to where the hand is right here, very close to where the hand is, and then come up from underneath here and bring it down to here, okay? So you take your knife and you use the tip of it and you cut the knife like this, okay, all the way back here. And what I usually do is I do it again because I don't want to put a lot of pressure so the knife doesn't slip. And then I come back here and I just, with the tip of my knife, I give it some depth. I give the coat some depth, okay? I want to cut it again because I like deep cuts. I just do. And I want to cut deep again. Give that coat a little bit more look to it. All right. So there's the coat. And we want to come over here and we want to make a cut right underneath or right below the hand, and we want to just take that piece off right there, okay? We don't want to cut the hand. We want to take that where the coat is just sort of underneath the hand right there. And then we come from this area and we bring the coat down like that. And then we cut that area out right there. And I like to do it again because I like to have the real deep cuts in the figure, even though it's a very small figure. See how that comes out like that? His hands are in the pockets of the coat. And then I like to move away this area of the pants, sort of away from the coat to give it even more of depth. So see how that's done? I'm going to come up here and I'm going to remove some wood underneath the hand. Alright? Now let's bring this down just a little bit right in here because it's a little bit too fat, as we might say. Most hobos, I didn't see too many fat hobos when I was studying hobos. Most of them weren't too fat because they didn't have much to eat. But they sure were grony looking. Come back here. You see? I want to come up underneath here and just clean that up a little bit in there. Now, I want to separate the pants from the... So I just sort of come up here, could have come here, and then I just sort of flip up and come down here like this, and sort of a motion like this. And then down like that. And then you take that from the bottom of the pants, you cut it. Okay? Whoop. Had a little bad place there, so I'm going to have to cut that again. You have that a lot of times. There we go. You have that sometimes because that wood is very thin in there. We have a bunch of roosters and chickens around here, so you might hear a chicken. We don't have them. This lady down the street has them. My mother doesn't have them. And let's make some cuts in there. Okay? So the shirt, bring it down a little bit, is away from the pants. Okay? Now I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to make my little cuts at the pants legs. There. And I want to make a little cut in here just to make that just a little bit deeper. Alright, there we go. Okay. Now, let's go to the shoes. We're going to come over here and we're just going to cut the pants leg in here, which is just one cut. Now, as we can see, the shoes are way too big. And we come over here and we make one cut. It's okay for the shoes to be too big. Now, if they're too small, then you might have a problem. You can remove wood, but it's hard to add wood to it. So if you look at it, the shoes are way too long, so we have to bring these shoes down. We want to be careful. Okay, it's about right. And then what I like to do is just take, sort of flip and flip, and make these shoes sort of like from here. Just see how I flip that knife like that, just to give it kind of a just like that, see? And we'll bring a little bit off of here and a little bit off of here. All right, well, just gonna, okay, now what we want to do now, and really it's very small, but if you want to make some cuts in your legs to give it that wrinkled look, which gives it even that more, and just take your knife, just come in here and make some little V cuts to make the pants look even more grubby looking. Just like that. Now, we're just about done. We're just about through. I want to make another little cut in here. Clean that out. All right, what we want to do is we want to get our V-tool. Let me find my V-tool. First of all, let me find my cover to my, look, there it is. I don't want to put my knife back in. I don't like to put my knives back in there unless they have a, here's a V-tool. Here's a very small V-tool. I don't know who makes this V-tool. It says Enlow. I don't know. I was given this V-tool. There's an Enlow, I know, but I don't know if that's Harold Enlow. I doubt it. And we want to take and we want to